All right, Miss Coco out at the park. This is what a typical session may look like for right now with her working on a few different things at once. One thing I really want to make sure of is that I have control coming in and out of the crate, control at the tailgate. I don't want her rushing out of the crate. I don't want her rushing off of the tailgate, and that's just for safety reasons. I don't know what's going on behind me, so this is how I typically will help her understand to have a little bit less arousal associated with some of these things. And we've run through this several times already, so at this point I am showing her what I want and what I do not want. And now that I have implemented this rule, it is always going to be a rule. I'm not going to go back and forth by allowing it sometimes and not allowing it at others. That way I don't confuse the dog, and I'm being fair with the standards that I create. When we start being wishy-washy, that's where we create gray area, and that's when the dog starts becoming really confused. Okay, so if I open this up, there's a couple different options that I can do. I can say no and close it in her face, or I can say no and give her a correction with the e-collar. And again, this is for safety. I don't know what's going on behind me. If she has a tendency to be overstimulated while getting out, potential things can go wrong. It's also going to reinforce arousal where I don't want arousal. So typically, with a dog, I want to reinforce a clear and calm state of mind. Even if I let them go into a state of drive or arousal, you have to be somewhat level-headed and even keel about it before we're able to do those types of things. Open up, and I have no leash on her. Also another reason why I want some control here. Good. Sometimes I get such a state of anticipation. There you go. That the marker can, they think that the marker is going to release them. Good. And just because I have it open, I'll go ahead and kind of keep her here for a second or two. Now I have two different release markers for dogs, F-R-E-E and OK. Usually using OK when I want the dog to remain in a relatively calmer state. F-R-E-E is we're out in the field, out in wooded areas, doing whatever. Environments where it's appropriate that I allow my dog to express a little bit more and drive. So it's just a way of telling them what state of mind I want them to be in. So for here, crates, doors, tailgate, things like that, it's going to be okay until I see the environment telling me that it's okay, that my dog become a little bit more excited about stuff. Good. If at any moment in time she wants to come out of the crate before I tell her to, again, I'm saying N-O. I'm giving her a correction on the e-collar and or closing the door in her face. She's going to learn that that doesn't work. She's not successful at having no impulse control. And she will understand what it is that I'm looking for and the full parameter of the behavior. Alright, so just because I open the door is not a signal to the dog to come out of the crate with enthusiasm. Okay. So then we're patient. And here she wants to kind of check out the tailgate, no problem. So once we're on the tailgate here, I want her to stay. If she decides that she wants to hop off, it's just going to be a little no. Maybe give a little tap on the flat collar and or e-collar, depending on where we're at in our training. Good. If she stays, we get rewarded. And I don't stay in the food reward, especially for very long. Nope. Freedom is essentially the reward. Okay. And then okay to off the tailgate. And once we're off the tailgate, right now with her, I just kind of let her go into exploration. Get out of her system. Sometimes that'll change, but once I start establishing more trust and understanding with the dogs, I don't ask for too much. But after we okay off the tailgate, I may put her right into obedience. I may let her go into exploration. I may just start playing with her. It really just all depends on what I want to do and where we're at with the training. Yes. It also gives me an opportunity when I give the dog a little bit more of that freedom to earn the trust, earn the freedom. Yes. Right, so she's voluntarily giving me the focus. She understands when she's a little bit more attentive of me. Good things happen, and I don't have to tell her, good girl. I don't have to always tell her to be doing things, right? All of my training is geared towards how hands-off can I be when I can be hands-off. I want to teach the dogs how to behave within the world with very minimal influence, and I'm only influencing behavior when I absolutely need to. Now, I understand that dogs are inherently and genetically programmed to be certain ways, so there's always going to be a little bit of management here or there, but I don't want to micromanage it. And here we're going into exploration. Be a good time to start practicing some recall. Coco, tap, 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 tap. Yes, good girl. Coco, tap, 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 tap. Yes. Yee. Free. And Coco's very, very independent. She can take or leave me, the food, the toys at times. So it's really important that I establish a lot of value in myself with her. And that's done by implementing both positive and negative consequences. But you can see she has no issue being out here all by herself. Coco, tap. Yes. Oh my goodness. Good girl. Coco. Yes, very nice. No tap there. Coco. Good mama. So that's also part of the recall, is if the dog is behind me and I'm using their name, I'm just looking for them to change that direction with me. If they are ahead of me, I want them to come back into my vicinity. Generally speaking, I want them to always come back in my general vicinity. But it's not always like a come and sit right in front of me or go into heel or whatever it may be. Coco. Tap. Tap. Yes. And this is why I have dogs and why training is important, is because I want them to have this level of freedom. But I also want to be very respectful of the world around me, the environment, people, dogs, things like that. If all I allow is just chaos all the time, then I'm not being super respectful of people. And then if I'm at a place where leash laws exist and I have an unruly dog, and I let them misbehave and do whatever, then the park rangers are going to start patrolling those parks a lot more frequently, and I can't cut my dog off leash. Coco. Go mama. So here, just exploration mixed with a little bit of recall. In my opinion, recall is probably the most important thing you can teach a dog. Good girl. Yeah, good. Yeah, good girl. Come here. Come here. Any of those check-ins voluntarily, I'm definitely gonna let her know. Good girl. Let's go. That's something I'm looking for. It doesn't always have to be food or toy reward. Give her a little bit of love. But those voluntary check-ins, they show me that the dog is also in tune with what it is that I'm doing, where I'm at. I'm establishing more value and relevancy to the dog, especially an independent dog like her. Nope. No. No. So I don't know what this is over here. Looks like a taquito from 7-Eleven. If that were something potentially hazardous or harmful to the dog, I'm definitely going to get on them about it, no matter what it is. I really don't want them eating stuff off the ground. So, very, very good example of what punishment may look like. When I am implementing punishment, I'm not looking for the dog to be doing something after. I'm not going to recall them, I'm not going to sit them, I'm not going to down them. We've done all of that legwork. She knows better alternatives outside of these types of contexts. And I don't want to muffle the lesson of don't eat stuff off the ground. Don't do anything that can harm you with obedience. Right? So when I punish a dog, I'm going to leave it at that. You're allowed to go off and do other appropriate dog things. Okay? Sometimes if the environment is safe enough and it warrants it, then I'll push them back into the distraction. Yes, good girl. And if she makes the right decision there, that's when I can reinforce. It's not going to be a forever thing, but that was a voluntary response not to go over here and pick it up. You seen that she was thinking about it. Good girl. But she's not wanting to do it. And that's how I want my punishment to go down, right? I don't want to have to sit here over and over and over and punish a dog for a singular behavior. I want it to be one and I want it to be done. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, we're just hanging out. No worries over here. Yeah. And we're leaving the area now, and as you can see, she's not shut down. The world didn't end. She didn't die. We're able to go back and do dog things, but without communicating those types of things to the dog. And I allow her to eat stuff off the ground or misbehave or blow off obedience or do anything like that without any sort of correction or punishment in life. We're leaving the dog to choose what it is that is right and wrong. And they don't morally know what right and wrong is. They just know what works. So if I allow that stuff to work for her, she's going to continue doing that stuff. And the more I allow her to do that stuff, when it becomes a severe problem, now it's going to take substantially longer to fix that type of behavior because it's been so ingrained in the dog. Coco. Tap here, tap. Yes, yee, good girl. Coco. Tap. Yes. Good girl. Woo. Good girl. No. Right, and I established a very strong, powerful no over there. I tell her no for that. I don't necessarily always have to back it up. She's like, oh, okay. Let's actually circle back over to that taquito. Almost. Yes. Good girl. Thought about it, didn't you? Coco. Yes. Good girl. Yes. That's what I'm looking for. And once I show a dog what punishment is, a lot of other things start falling into place where they need to be without having to do a ton of extra things. She's gonna naturally start being more compliant for me, and I'm not gonna have to micromanage her with corrections and a lot of this other stuff when I show them the potential consequences for some things. Where you going? Coco. Good girl. So here, after our little walkabout, working on some recall, not eating things off the ground, we might just kind of chill underneath the shady tree here and decompress a little bit, let those things mull over. I'm not necessarily just going to put her away after all of that, which is the nice thing about not having 12 dogs at a time. I can stay out here as long as I want, because this is more realistic. You know, if I'm out here with my own dogs, I'm not putting them away after I get some reps in. It's not real life. Real life is a little bit more fluid than, or even unpredictable than, let's get out for obedience and then get put up. So we're here just gonna chill for a little bit, and then we're gonna go into a play session, and then we're gonna chill again. And when I chill here and do nothing with the dog, it tells me a lot about how the dog handles boredom, not constantly in motion. So it's also very good to show them how to be bored, especially in an environment where I do allow arousal. Right, so if every time I come out to this field, all I do is play, this field is going to have an association of adrenaline, cortisol, arousal, chaos, no control. Right, but the environment can mean different things at different times, and it's up to me to show them when those times are. So something to keep in mind is that every time I come to this field, I'm not just throwing the ball for any dog. We're doing all of these things, showing them the control. Hey, I have the ability to control your arousal and drive and behavior if I need to. We can go into exploration. You can express drive that way. We can play. I can control you within play. But unless they hear me say when it's okay to do certain things, they need to be attentive of me and wait for that go ahead to go into that. So after we kind of decompress here, I'm going to give her my release marker of FREE, because that's going to show her that I've allowed her to go into a state of drive. That's when I'm going to pull the toys out, and we're going to work on how we play, which is something that she needs to understand as well. There's control in certain ways to be and play while you have and possess a toy. If I just come sit and do nothing with the dog and they have a hard time relaxing, they're excessively moving around, they're whining, they're things like that, it tells me a lot about where the dog is in their emotional state and what I need to be doing with that dog to help them understand that that type of behavior and state of mind is not okay to be in. So I'm either going to channel it into something to help alleviate and compartmentalize, or I'm just going to sit here until they kind of self-soothe and regulate themselves, or a combination of both. Kind of open that window up for her with that free. She knows I have the toy here. Get it. Yeah, good girl. And she likes to be very independent. Coco. Come on. Get it. Nice. Good girl. Now, she really likes playing keep away. She sometimes can take or leave the second toy that I offer her, which is a method that I like to use when a dog has enough drive and intensity for the toy. I like to show them that I have something else to offer, even though you might have something that you do want. Sometimes she could take it or leave it. Coco. Coco. She likes playing keep away. There we go. Good girl. I want the dog to understand that I'm not. Yes, good. I'm not the end of the game. And we're going to go back. We're going to do our little crawl. Look at this. This dog is ate up. Is this how we play tug? Is this how we play tug? Oh my goodness. Good girl. Good mama. Ooh, almost lost it. Ooh, you did lose it. So if we lose it because she has decent motivation to work for it, definitely gonna make her consistently go into a behavior I like. Get it. And I'll take that. And I was supposed to throw it, but I dropped it. Come here. Yeah, good. Oh no, you got both of them now. So there are rules to playing. Good girl. I don't want her to just go keep away and not want to come back and play with me. So I'll try and show her the 2-toy method, showing her that I'm not the end of the fun. You getting tired? Yeah, you're tired. And that'll be the end of that. So we're gonna go back into just kind of decompressing and probably end of the session.